The FIFA World Cup continues to produce a string of upsets as fancied Brazil, which enjoys a massive global fan following, became the latest high-profile nation to crash out of the ongoing football extravaganza, going down to Croatia in a tie-breaker. There were nervy moments for the other South American nation, as Argentina as well, but they eventually prevailed in a pulsating penalty shootout, inching a step closer to their third World Cup title dream. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. Political parties gear up with their PR list for the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly today. A hectic day in the offing as PR aspirants try to get the nod in their favor. Brazil crash out of the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals as Croatia storm into last four. Argentina prevail in another penalty shootout, getting the better of Netherlands. Even Army athletes dominate as Khadga Bahadur Khadka clinches the Nepalganj marathon. Santoshi Shrestha defends her title of half marathon. And Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashes fresh warning of nuclear attacks. Says Russia may change its military doctrine of not being the first nation to use nuclear weapons. Political parties are to conclude their proportionate members for the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly later today. Nepali Congress and CPN-UML, among other parties, have made preparations to hold their final meetings today to conclude the list of proportionate members. Prior to this, UML had postponed its secretariat meeting, which was called for Friday, and scheduled it for today. Nepali Congress has also called the meeting of its officials to decide the proportionate members today itself. Meanwhile, the Central Committee meeting of Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Janata Samajwadi Party have also been slated for today. Even as the Election Commission had issued the Saturday deadline earlier, the political parties are yet to conclude their selection of proportionate candidates. Now, political parties are currently amending their closed list of proportionate candidates. Those included in the closed list previously submitted to the Election Commission are busy convincing senior party leaders and officials to secure their position. The members who were included in the closed list of proportionate members for the Provincial Assembly have reached out at the party headquarters to clinch the spot. CPN-UML party office in Chasol was seen busy throughout the day yesterday as members included in the closed list of proportionate candidates for both the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly are expecting to remain included as proportionate members. The largest party of the ruling coalition and the new parliament from the November 20 election, Nepali Congress, is also busy amending its list of proportionate candidates. Senior leaders and party officials are divided as Nepali Congress has to include 29 women for its 32 proportionate seats at the lower house. Another coalition partner, CPN Maoist Centre, also held a meeting of its officials yesterday. Members included in the closed list were seen outside the party office and everyone claimed of making it to the parliament. Meanwhile, dispute has surfaced in Rashtriya Swatantra Party, which achieved national party status from its participation, first in fact in the general elections. Members have alleged the party officials of tampering the closed list of proportionate candidates submitted to the Election Commission. Other entities with the national status, including Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Janata Samajwadi Party and Loktantrik Samajwadi Party, are also busy amending their list of proportionate candidates. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you term the trend of visiting the residences of senior leaders to secure parliamentary seats and power? Your options are A, centralized perception, B, power hunger, and C, normal efforts. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. 5 governments were formed since the promulgation of the Constitution of Nepal in 2015. With all parties prioritizing power, several coalition governments were formed at the cost of political ideologies, while the trend continues unabated. Good governance has not been ensured as no parties has prioritized curbing corruption. At a time when the Day Against Corruption was observed across the world, corruption only thrived in Nepal. In 2021 report of Transparency International, an institution which studies corruption has enlisted Nepal among the nations with massive scale of corruption. Among the 180 nations, Nepal has ranked 117th with only 33 points. The graph of corruption in Nepal has seen an upward curve since 2015. Despite formation of several governments in the past 5 years, none of them has given mandatory emphasis on curbing corruption. While corruption is increasing at an alarming rate, international agencies are also conducting studies on Nepal's actions against money laundering. Despite the presence of half a dozen entities, including the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority to Curb Corruption, investigate illegal assets and money laundering, their poor performance has led to those guilty being given a clean chit by the courts. There are around 24,000 corruption cases filed at the anti-graft body. Most of them are related to the local levels and education. In such a scenario, risks of Nepal losing its prestige in the international community has further increased. Time now for the international update. Russian President Vladimir Putin, for the second time this week, floated the possibility that Russia may formally change its military doctrine of not being the first to use nuclear weapons in a conflict, days after he warned of the increasing threat of a nuclear war. Putin said at a news conference in the Kyrgyzstan capital Bishkek, the fall of the warheads of enemy missiles on the territory of the Russian Federation was inevitable, adding that the United States policy was not to exclude the possibility of disarming nuclear strike, while Russia's doctrine is to use nuclear weapons as a last resort. Biden administration officials have previously said that Moscow has been warned at the highest levels of the consequences for use of nuclear weapon in the war. Putin's comments come as the war enters winter, with Russia continuing to shell eastern and southern parts of Ukraine and faces attacks on its own soil. On Monday, Russia unleashed a fresh wave of drone and missile attacks targeting energy infrastructure across Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the strikes caused extensive power outages in several regions, including Kyiv and Odessa. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked, why is there a thriving trend of giving and receiving bribes at government departments? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
घुस लिने व्यक्ति पनि खराब, दिने व्यक्ति पनि खराब भएको हुँदा यो प्रवृत्ति मौलाएको हो।
हामी पनि अलिकति चेतनाको कमी, एउटा पद्धतिको कमी,
हामीलाई छिटो काम गराउन पर्ने भएको भएर
सिस्टम खोकलो भएर माथिल्लो तह नै भ्रष्ट भएको कारण तल्लो तहलाई पनि भ्रष्टले छोपेको छ। अब हाम्रो काम हुँदैन, हामीले घुस दिन्छौं त्यहाँ।
हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ केयरलेस रूपले गरिरहेको भएर चाहिँ यसको चाहिँ बढिरा हो।
माथिल्लो तहको मेन रोल हुन्छ।
देश र जनताको भन्ने यी नेतालाई माया छैन, रिमोट बाहिर छ।
Now, Khadka Bahadur Khadka has clinched the Nepalganj Marathon. Khadka raced ahead of teammates Narendra Singh Rawat and Mohan Dev Joshi to come in the first place. All three runners belong to 3-1 Army Club. Meanwhile, Santoshi Shrestha has defended her title of the half marathon as she bettered her previous timing to clinch gold medal. Santoshi Shrestha clocked 1 hour, 16 minutes and 41 seconds to come first. The second place went to Indian athlete Anjali Chauhan, who produced a timing of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 48 seconds. Likewise, Anju Khadka came third with a timing of 1 hour, 36 minutes and 44 seconds. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.